saw an IndieWire post that said 3 TED Talks every filmmaker should watch, one of which was Andrew Stanton, writer of WALL-E, Toy Story, John Carter, etc. And he says, because it's a great TED Talk, the audience wants to work for their meal, meaning they want to solve a puzzle or a story. And I hadn't really thought about that. So how do you think that you make the audience work for their meal? Let's take Desires of the Heart. How would you say that you worked to make the audience kind of hang in there, try to follow the puzzle without showing them too much?
That's a tricky balance you follow as a filmmaker. One of the things that I have an issue with at the moment in most of the mainstream films, I think, is that a lot of directors and filmmakers and screenplays are making films that end with periods, that give you this very distinctive, this is the world, this is how it is, and this is the ending, and it all wraps it up in a nice tiny little bow. And I think that if you want to make a more effective film, some of my most favorite films always end in a question mark, not the period, because when you leave the audience with a question, you're doing 2 things. One, you're trying to give them something to solve on the journey of making the film, but also when you leave them as the credits come up, you're leaving with something to ponder, with something to think about, with something that may be not fully resolved, the ambiguous ending, if you will. And with Desires of the Heart, that was something I really tried hard to do throughout the film, to kind of be leaving these little clues throughout the way, but not answering all of the questions. And even when you get to the end of the film, I tried to leave it with a question mark as well, instead of a definitive ending, because I believe that viewers are intelligent, and you should give people the opportunity to interpret endings and interpret your film as you progress with it. If you're constantly giving them those periods, I think you're treating your audience with disrespect.